Ryan Reynolds just walked a major red carpet completely alone. And before you chalk it up to scheduling conflicts or busy Hollywood calendars, that's not what's going on here. If you've been following the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni lawsuit saga, you already understand why this moment carries weight. Ryan isn't just a husband who showed up solo to an event. He's a named witness in an active federal case, and he's about to be called into court to testify. The warm, easygoing persona he's spent years building is showing some serious cracks, and right now, it looks like he's quietly trying to create distance between himself and the legal storm his wife is at the center of.
Still don't really know what we're doing. The thing that we keep doing that seems to work is actually saying I don't know and deferring to people who actually do know.
The event in question was the Season 5 premiere of Welcome to Wrexham, the documentary series following Ryan's ownership of the Welsh football club. Here's what makes his solo appearance particularly notable. Blake actually has a cameo in this season's premiere episode. She's part of the project. There was every reason for her to be standing beside him on that carpet. She wasn't. Ryan stepped out alone, and the moment he appeared, something felt visibly off. Even the photographers seemed to pick up on it. The toll the situation is taking on him was written all over his face. People online were quick to comment, pointing out how worn down he looked, how heavy the stress seemed to sit on him. His eyes, usually the first thing you notice in that quick, playful way he carries himself, looked flat, tired. The humor that normally defines him wasn't there.
He looks bad. He looks tired. He looks unwell. He looks stressed.
The sharpest moment of the evening came during a brief interview with Entertainment Tonight. The reporter, clearly aware of the legal boundaries around the lawsuit, chose his words carefully. He asked Ryan how he manages to hold onto the genuine excitement of the Wrexham premiere while navigating everything else going on in his personal life right now. Everyone on that carpet understood what everything else meant. Normally, Ryan would deflect something like that with a quick joke, get a laugh, and smoothly redirect the conversation. This time, he just paused. He looked distant, like his mind had completely left the red carpet and was somewhere deep inside a legal strategy session. His answer was that life moves in waves, that experiencing both the highs and the lows is what gives life its meaning. It sounds thoughtful on the surface. But watch the clip and something else comes through entirely.
How do you balance the joy of this and the other craziness going on in your life?
I don't know. I mean, there's life, right? It's ebbs and flows and all, that's what makes it so special, You don't know the good moments if you don't have some bad moments. You don't know the bad moments if you haven't had some good moments. So yeah.
That response wasn't philosophy. It was exhaustion wearing a calm face. A man who is genuinely happy, grounded, and confident doesn't answer a lighthearted red carpet question that way. That's the answer of someone watching money pour out the door to fund a lawsuit he didn't start, while his own reputation absorbs collateral damage he didn't ask for. There's a frustration simmering underneath all of it, carefully contained, but visible if you're paying attention. And the tension didn't stay contained for long. Later in the same evening, Ryan's Wrexham co-owner Rob McElhenney was being interviewed about how the club plans to manage Premier League-level player salaries. Rob made a lighthearted comment about hunting for billionaire investors. Out of nowhere, Ryan jumped in with a completely off-topic joke, asking the interviewer if they enjoyed massages. It landed awkwardly. And in that moment, it was hard not to wonder whether the famous Ryan Reynolds would have started slipping under the weight of everything closing in around him.
If you're out there and you want to be a part of the...
Do you like massage? Sorry, I don't know where that came from. I retract that statement immediately.
The moment that joke left his mouth, something flashed across his face, a split second of pure panic. For someone who has built an entire career on razor-sharp comic timing, that was a startling stumble. This isn't a man having a rough night. This is a man who can no longer fully function in the space where he's always been most comfortable, because whatever is happening behind closed doors has completely taken over. I've watched the Hollywood machine long enough to recognize when a powerful couple stops being a brand and starts becoming a burden. What Ryan is going through right now isn't a bad week or a rough press cycle. It's the visible unraveling of an image that once seemed completely untouchable. Watch that Wrexham footage again. This is a man who turned charm into a billion-dollar business. Aviation gin, Mint Mobile, Deadpool, all of it built on one simple foundation, being the most effortlessly likable person in any room. But in those clips, the lights are on and no one is home. That ebb and flow comment he gave to the ET reporter, that's not wisdom. That's a distress signal. When someone like Ryan Reynolds stops reaching for the clever one-liner and starts offering quiet philosophy instead, it means the real answer is something he simply cannot say out loud. He wasn't talking about life in general. He was talking about something that feels like it's going under. And that strange massage joke with Rob McElhenney, that wasn't a misfire from a comedian having an off night. That was the sound of a mind that's been through too many hours of depositions and too many conversations about legal bills to find the right gear in a normal social moment. For what may be the first time in his professional life, Ryan doesn't have a script. He's realizing that the lovable nice guy routine carries absolutely no weight inside a federal courtroom, especially when the co-defendant is your wife. But what strikes me most isn't the awkward jokes or the tired eyes. It's the silence. In the past, whenever Blake faced public criticism, Ryan would surface quickly, a well-timed photo, a subtle social media moment, just enough to shift the conversation. That playbook has gone completely quiet, which tells me his legal team has almost certainly had a very direct conversation with him. If you want to protect your business empire and everything you've built, you need to stop performing the role of supportive husband and start preparing to be a credible witness. That is an extraordinarily cold position to be in. And you can see him working through that trade-off in real time, choosing what keeps him protected over what keeps them united. Watching something that looked like a fairy tale slowly reduce itself to a series of calculated PR decisions is genuinely unsettling. But here's the part that explains everything: why Ryan can't simply step back, why going solo on red carpets doesn't mean he's free of any of this. He is legally trapped. It began on the set of It Ends With Us, the 2024 adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel. Blake filed accusations against Baldoni involving the working environment on set and a range of other claims. But on April 11th, Blake's legal team filed a pretrial motion that included the official witness list, and that document sent a visible shockwave through Hollywood. Ryan's name wasn't buried at the bottom. He's listed as a primary witness, expected to take the stand early in the proceedings. He'll be questioned about production decisions, the marketing campaign, disputes during post-production editing, all of it. Every text message, every conversation, every behind-the-scenes involvement he had will be examined in detail by Baldoni's legal team. Ryan has spent years carefully constructing a public identity, the good-natured, self-deprecating funny guy that people genuinely like. That identity is what sells gin and mobile plans and superhero movies. Now that same identity is being pulled into a federal courtroom and placed under a very different kind of spotlight. The frustration of being put in this position, frustration he's clearly working hard to keep contained, is starting to surface anyway. And that brings us to the Liam incident.
What's your question?
Hi,
Nice to meet you. Let's skip to the question.
Here's what happened. A young reporter named Liam, working on behalf of Virgin Radio, was doing his job, trying to get a quick interview at the event. Ryan's PR team had been clear: no stops, keep moving, there's a schedule to maintain. Ryan stopped anyway. And the reasoning behind that decision isn't hard to figure out. A spontaneous, warm moment with a young kid reporter. That's exactly the kind of clip that spreads quickly online and reminds people why they like you. It should have been easy. It should have been effortless. It wasn't. Instead of the easy charm his fans have come to expect, the interaction turned uncomfortable almost immediately. People who were there, and viewers who watched the footage afterward, noticed the same thing. Ryan seemed impatient, visibly irritated, and not at all present in the moment.
Hi Ryan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Let's skip to the question.
Why is there so much Chipotle mayo on your Tim Hortons breakfast?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I wish I had some control over that. But you know what I can do? I can send a strongly worded letter to the chef over at Tim Hortons.
Okay.
Consider it done, young man. What's your name?
Liam.
Liam? Okay, Liam. I'll make it downright vicious. But I'm going to say it's from you.
Nobody handles stress perfectly. Everyone has moments where their patience runs thin. But this didn't happen in a vacuum. This happened in the middle of one of the most publicly damaging periods of Blake's career, and by extension, his. When you factor in everything surrounding it, that brief uncomfortable exchange with a child reporter becomes a revealing window into where Ryan's head actually is right now. His nerves aren't just frayed, they appear to be completely gone. The quick-witted, self-aware, endlessly charming version of Ryan Reynolds that audiences have loved for years has quietly disappeared. What's showing up in his place is someone short-tempered, visibly anxious, and struggling to hold it together in even the simplest public interactions. The charm can't be switched on anymore because his mental bandwidth is entirely consumed by legal exposure, financial pressure, and a situation he didn't create but can't escape.
I get overstimulated and I have trouble sometimes regulating that. Like my brain starts to move way faster than my mouth.
Naturally, all of this visible strain has sent people online into overdrive speculating about the state of his marriage. The solo red carpet appearances, the obvious tension, the mounting legal costs. Fans have been piecing these together as signs that a divorce announcement could be coming. But here's where things need to be looked at more carefully. As strained as things clearly are, a divorce right now would be financially catastrophic for both of them. Ryan and Blake have spent years building deeply intertwined financial lives, shared properties, joint investments, overlapping business interests. Trying to unwind all of that in the middle of an active federal trial wouldn't just be complicated. It would be reckless. There's also a strategic reality. Walking into that courtroom as a divided couple hands Baldoni's legal team exactly what they'd want: visible proof that the whole thing is falling apart from the inside. That kind of ammunition is the last thing they need right now. So Ryan stays. Not happily, by any visible measure, but deliberately. He's pulling back publicly, skipping her events, refusing to play along with the PR choreography, and doing what he can to salvage his own reputation separately. It's not solidarity. It's survival strategy with a shared address.
Blake's image is getting tarnished, and Ryan Reynolds could not accept the fact that any of this was Blake's doing.
While Ryan visibly unravels, looking years older than he did just months ago and losing his patience with a kid doing a school interview, Blake is taking a completely opposite approach. And it's striking in its own way. She's pretending none of this is happening. While Ryan can barely hold himself together in front of a camera, Blake has committed to projecting an image of total normalcy. Great friendships, strong marriage, happy life. The trial? Just a small inconvenience on the horizon. Nothing to be concerned about. The engine behind this image is her publicist, Leslie Sloan, who is herself named as a potential witness in the lawsuit. Sloan has reportedly been working the phones with major media outlets, pushing a consistent message: everything is fine, the family is stable, the marriage is solid, no story here. A key part of that strategy involves Taylor Swift. The narrative being carefully circulated is that Blake and Taylor's friendship is as strong as ever. The logic is transparent. If America's most beloved pop star is still standing beside Blake, then maybe Blake isn't the person the headlines are making her out to be. Taylor's reputation for genuine loyalty is essentially being used as borrowed credibility. The problem is that audiences aren't buying it. The gap between the carefully managed story being pushed out and what people can actually see happening in real time has grown too wide. And when the story stops matching reality, no amount of publicist phone calls closes that gap.
Blake Lively is doing everything in her power to make sure that these celebrity friends of hers aren't bothered by this. This is not their fight.
Blake's social media strategy follows a predictable pattern. She goes quiet for a stretch, likely waiting for the worst of the public reaction to settle, then returns with flawlessly lit, carefully composed posts radiating the message that everything in her life is wonderful. Nothing to see here. Just living her best life while her husband prepares to testify on her behalf. The public isn't falling for it. People have also started noticing something else. The version of events she refers to as her truth doesn't stay consistent. It shifts depending on whatever narrative is most favorable in that particular news cycle. That's not someone telling the truth. That's someone managing a story. And while the Instagram feed says everything is fine, the courtroom tells a completely different story. During a grueling 3-hour pretrial conference in late April, the financial reality of her situation was laid out openly before the court. Her legal team brought in expert witnesses claiming that the fallout from her conflict with Baldoni caused financial damages ranging from $142 million to nearly $400 million. That's not a precise figure. That's a wide net being cast and hoping something lands. Specifically, her lawyers argued that the alleged smear campaign destroyed years of investment in her haircare brand and effectively killed her beverage company. They also claimed she lost out on a guaranteed $35 million payday for a potential It Ends With Us sequel. So the argument being made in court is that she deserves hundreds of millions of dollars because people criticized her online and a sequel that may never have happened didn't get made. Baldoni's legal team, led by attorney Amira Smaili, took that argument apart in front of the judge. Their position was straightforward. Her businesses didn't collapse because of a coordinated campaign. They collapsed because consumers stopped connecting with her. People simply stopped buying what she was selling. That's not Baldoni's doing. That's the natural consequence of her own public behavior. They backed this up with internal financial documents showing that Blake's own management team and her personal accountant had already raised concerns about the long-term viability of her Betty Buzz brand, well before any conflict with Baldoni became public. The business was already on shaky ground. The lawsuit just gave her a convenient place to point the blame. Baldoni's team went further. They brought up specific moments from her own public record to demonstrate that she had damaged her own reputation independently without any help from him. Chief among those moments was March 2024, when Blake publicly mocked a digitally edited photo released by the Princess of Wales. Days later, Kate Middleton announced she had been diagnosed with cancer. Blake was forced into a public apology, going on record to express regret for ridiculing a woman who had been quietly dealing with a serious illness. Baldoni's lawyers argued plainly, her brands failed to sell because consumers found her unlikable. He had nothing to do with that. She built that perception herself, one misstep at a time. And that contradiction sits at the core of everything. While Blake's Instagram presents a life of ease and contentment, the court record presents something far less polished, a woman attempting to hold a male co-star responsible for failing businesses, a damaged public image, and a Hollywood career that has stalled. She has framed herself as the victim of a calculated conspiracy. But the evidence that keeps emerging points back to her own decisions. She mocked a member of the royal family who was privately fighting cancer. She turned a movie press tour into a promotional vehicle for her personal brand. And now she is asking the court for hundreds of millions of dollars because people express their opinions about her online. The court isn't persuaded. And by all appearances, neither is anyone else.
You are the best thing that has ever happened to me. Second only to this star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
For years, Ryan Reynolds and Blake lively represented something rare in Hollywood, a power couple that actually seemed to work. They promoted each other's projects, built brands side by side, and kept the public genuinely charmed. That image is now buried under court filings, financial disputes, and public disillusionment. The moment Ryan walked onto that Wrexham red carpet alone, he communicated something clearly, even without saying a word. The unified front is gone. He is stepping back from a legal situation that is draining their finances, eroding their combined brand value, and pulling him toward a federal witness stand he never expected to stand on. The strain is visible. He looks physically worn down. His patience is gone. He makes jokes and immediately second-guesses them, clearly terrified of adding another headline to the pile. He hasn't stood beside Blake at her court hearings. She has walked out of those proceedings alone. Meanwhile, Baldoni has remained composed throughout. He held his position, pushed back against a powerful Hollywood machine, and let the facts surface on their own timeline. He leaves the courthouse relaxed, his wife by his side, a stark contrast to everything happening on the other side of this case. As the trial approaches, Ryan appears to be doing everything legally possible to stay on the edges of this wreckage rather than standing at the center of it. The witness list has been filed. The financial arguments have been dismantled in open court. The public has seen through the carefully maintained image. And that empty space beside Ryan on the red carpet says more about where this is all heading than any press release ever could. So here's the question worth sitting with: what actually happens when Ryan takes the stand? Is he going to protect her or protect himself? And is this marriage genuinely holding together, or are they simply holding their positions until the legal process plays out? Drop your thoughts below. What do you think comes next?